Five Flags Speedway in Pensacola, Florida, they're synonymous with short track racing, albeit usually with the Snowball Derby and super late models. So what happens when you take a bunch of legends and throw them on the high banks here in Pensacola? Well, chaos sometimes, but just a lot of great racing really is what we're looking for tonight with the Advanced Legends Cup here at virtual Five Flags Speedway. Glad you're joining us here at Pit Stop TV for round 11 of 12 for the Advanced Legends series. And Zach, the way this series is broken down, we have a very clear favorite for the championship. Let's talk about that first. Parker Retzlaff clear by 91 points.
Yeah, I think Parker Retzlaff is just going to run away with this, and you can see the big lead he's got over Daniel Folds, and then also down there you've got Blake Massengale and Michael Smith, but it's actually Joel Smith. They are miles and miles back, virtually no chance at taking this championship away. And, you know, it's really all in Retzlaff's court.
Yeah, Retzlaff really put a beating on the field last week at Langley Speedway. He's a little bit off, admittedly, in qualifying tonight. 8th place. We'll talk about the full grid here in a moment, but I think it would take a large misstep for him to lose the championship, and I mean large misstep, but even then, I'm not sure it's going to happen. Folds will have to win these next 2 rounds and win multiple times, I think, as well, potentially to just bolster his confidence and bolster his stats going into these last 2 weeks at Five Flags and Stafford. Let's take a look as well at the track map here, Zach. What stands out to you about Five Flags?
It's just a really interesting track. You know, you go into turns 1 and 2, and idealistically, you think you got it down if it's going to be the same way around the rest of the racetrack, but it's not. 3 and 4 is actually a little bit tighter coming around, and then it kind of makes it a little bit difficult to gauge where you want to run. You can run it all the way on the bottom. You can try to take a bigger arch and kind of just do a bit of a late apex into turn 4 and try to drive it up off coming down the front straightaway, set yourself up better for turn 1. But with these legend cars, it's going to be like a super speedway, so it's going to be interesting to see how they run and where they really decide to run as we, you know, look forward to what is probably going to be a great race.
Air temp 70.8 degrees, track temp 82 degrees. It feels a lot like Winter Nationals down here for Florida, doesn't it? Really that perfect kind of February Florida weather. It's not too hot, not too cold, right where you want it to be, with a nice track temp that's going to give a little bit of heat to these tires, but really not be too hot at all. Let's talk about our starting grid. Up front, it is all Daniel Folds in car number 2. Martin Gonzoulis will start from 2nd. Blake Massengale will start from the 3rd spot. Jason Durant-Walker from 4th. Kyle Meyer 5th. Kyle Turzak will start from 6th. Jacob Derrick, Parker Retzlaff in row 4. Row 5, it's Riley Fiddler, Hadsback, and Matthew Boniface at your top 10 starting positions. Down to the green flag. We are off and away at Five Flags. Caution already. Pete Jones and Tyler Payne. It's going to be a tough one for Tyler Payne to have to swallow, I'd say, in car 7 tonight. Adding some blue back onto his paint scheme, I like that, but in trouble early.
That is the product of, well, sending small cars onto, in their standards, is such a big racetrack.
It really is a bit like maybe an auto club for the NASCAR Cup Series, potentially. It's a larger racetrack, not a whole lot of off-throttle time, and it looks like Pete Jones actually gets out of shape early, and Tyler really has nowhere to go to try and miss him.
Not too much damage, though. I mean, he's probably going to knock the toe out a little bit on the right front, but in any case, he might still be able to keep it going. Might still be a little bit competitive, actually.
On board here with Tyler Payne.
And yeah, car in front, get loose, hit the apron, and boom, there you go.
Pete just got loose on the apron, and yeah, exactly like you said. I mean, it's a fine line here at Five Flags. You can run that apron in maybe a full-bodied stock car, a late model, maybe even a truck, or a street stock, but it's kind of a no-go zone for something as short, as small as a Legends car. It's just, these cars are so sensitive, such a short wheelbase, so light, you really don't want to get down there and mess with the apron at all.
Yeah, there's just a lot of places, a lot of points on this track that can really upset the car, make it just not drive how you want it to, and the apron being one of those spots. You just dip those left side tires and it makes it difficult, but I'll tell you one place that you can dip those left side tires on the apron, Stafford. That's going to be such a great race next week.
That it is. I look forward to that season finale next week, and of course, we will just have the season, or the week opening strength and field race on Monday at 7 Eastern. Maybe we can talk to Tyler Payne about getting another race covered that week. Who knows? To see kind of who's going to win that championship. But I think more realistically, just watch out on our social media channels here at Pit Stop TV. We'll make sure to post division champions from the Advanced Legends Cup and Payne-Built Legends next week after the season comes to a close. But our field into turns 3 and 4, ready to get this race back underway, and the green flag will fly once again here at Five Flags. Retzlaff down to the inside of Jason Durant Walker. You can see it here from Tyler Payne's on board, and there's some crashing. Durant Walker around. And he has backed into the wall pretty hard. Caution is out. Kyle Turzak also involved.
That looked like contact from Retzlaff there, or maybe just getting loose in front of him?
Only the replay will be able to tell us. Let's see. As they barreled down into turn number 3, you can see Retzlaff down inside. No, Turzak and Durant Walker made contact, and the 6 of Durant Walker came up the racetrack. And, well, the rest is history for those two.
That's going to be some heavy rear end damage. Might need to take some service on that one.
We'll get another look at it here from high above the Five Flags Speedway. The white 51 just kind of comes down the racetrack a little bit. I'm not sure. Durant Walker looks like he really overcorrects. Maybe, I'm going to be honest, this is just me calling balls and strikes as I see him. It looks like Durant Walker overcorrects maybe a little more intentionally than he needed to. Well, let's go on board. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt. Let's check the onboard here. We'll even use the cockpit camera. Don't usually use this, but watch the blue stripe on the wheel at the bottom of the screen. Well, he did come back to the left, so yeah, we'll give him benefit of the doubt there. Just a really massive correction back to the right.
You know, that is one thing with these legend cars, and I'll tell you, I'll know from racing the summer shootout, when it comes to corrections, you know, just even a little bit of a tap to the right can just kind of point that car back in the right direction. You got to be so smooth with the wheel turning back to the left just to be able to make sure that that car does not overcorrect and just step out on you.
This coming from somebody who has spun a car at the summer shootout.
That was when the motor mount broke. That wasn't my fault.
Well, hey, you still know what it's like to spin a Legends car, and just like realistically, not even just as the little bit of an insult there. Like seriously, you know what it's like for these cars to be so nimble, so on their toes, and just whip around like that.
I do. It's so easy to get these things upset, especially when you want to carry so much speed into the corner with these things, but you also got to remember that it is a race car. There are so many things that are more sensitive than, say, an actual car. You just got to be so easy with it. You can't abuse it. You got to make sure that you find that fine line of control.
Legends cars, especially on iRacing, are anything but numb, that's for sure. 10 laps already complete. We've 25 to go, this time by the stripe. Green flag back out at Five Flags. Gatzulis headed back quick. Riley Fiddler heads back up the inside, and Parker Retzlaff wants to follow. He's now to the inside, battling with Gatzulis for 5th position. One car up the racetrack, and they save it. We at least get a lap complete from the restart.
And Daniel Foles just went purple, obviously being out in front with the clean air. Oh, we got a slider.
That's Riley Fiddler up top. And the 8 car in the wall hard. He's going to fall way back. He's got the 63 painted on the sides of that machine. Unfortunately, he's heading back to not quite the 63rd position, but somewhere close. He gives up more time here in 1 and 2. I think he recognizes the situation. But Parker Retzlaff up to the 4th position, and this is exactly what the Zeem setup shop guys do not want to have happen. Maybe Kyle Meyer can play defense for him a little bit here. The PBL driver, he's going to give the door open, it looks like, to Retzlaff on the inside. As a caution actually will fly, and there is Riley Fiddler again. Pete Jones, Tristan McKee also in trouble.
That is some heavy, heavy right front damage.
And Retzlaff went purple that lap. And Pete Jones, my goodness, this is going to be one heck of a ride to see. Watch the satin chrome number 41. And a little bit of contact there with the 15 car of Tristan McKee. And wow, Maybe a little bit of suspension funkiness, if you will, but what a ride there.
I would say, just because I've seen it, that's a very more realistic wreck from learning things being in a legend car. Let's just cover the fact that, you know, there's a lot of surrounding goodness when it comes to the legend car community, and there was a wreck last year where that exact same thing happened, and it was, oh my goodness.
Maybe not the extra balanced barrel roll at the end, but yeah.
Not the barrel roll, but definitely the front end impact to the catch fence.
Let's get another look at it here. And the 41 just gets in deep, clips the 15 of McKee. Up the racetrack they go, and wow. Yeah, that was a big hit. And you know, actually, I'm thinking back to Winter Nationals a couple of years ago in Auburndale. Oh gosh, why can't I think of who it was?
Describe the wreck. I might be able to tell you who it was.
We had it on Legends Nation. And, oh my gosh, Cade Brown absolutely got set in the outside wall real hard, driver's side first. Not that it really matters in a Legends car, but absolutely crushed the outside wall out of turn 2. We had a great shot of it from turn 3, but it just... some of those hellacious impacts sometimes, especially on corner exit. You know, you would think you're going faster at the end of the straightaway on corner entry, Zach, but we get a lot of hard hits in Legend Car racing on corner exit more often than not. It just, I don't know what it is about Legend Cars and the way they get raced, but man, we get some big ones, just like we had there. Green flag is back out, halfway. Massagill falling back off the start. Kyle Meyer to the inside. Bring Jacob Derrick into the conversation as he races with Parker Retzlaff down to turn number 3. Retzlaff now finally a challenger down there.
He is powering. He's going to clear Derrick on the outside and settle back in line 4th. And they are 3 wide behind.
On board with Parker. I know we had that kind of controversial moment that maybe left a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths. I know it admittedly left a bit of a bad taste in my mouth from Atlanta, where he got in the back end of Curtis Sutton for the race win. But I gotta be honest, you know, Parker Retzlaff, take all the bias you want out of it. He has been the best driver in this Legends Series all season long. Has put together so many wins, has put together so many fantastic runs, especially on SOF nights. I just don't know how you can argue with him being the champion, especially when he's putting some pressure on Blake Massagill just like that and goes on by the 10 car, takes that spot away. He just keeps getting better and better. Oh, a block there, though, and he's going to get sent. Massagill all over the bumper, but it did not move him.
But he's going to take that look down the inside going into turn 1. He is not taking any prisoners tonight, and Jacob Derrick is sitting there waiting for either something to happen or just follow Massagill as he's going to fall back in line on the backstretch.
It might not be cut and dry just yet. The 10 of Massagill wanted to send the 2 big time in 3, and now Massagill, whoa, swatting flies, and he's in the wall hard, and he has rolled it. He's been hit by Jason Durant Walker, and he's doing pirouettes, and comes to rest on the start-finish line, and that is it for Massagill, likely as well for the top 3 in the season.
That was a hard hit. He just got stepping loose off of turn 4, and, well, there it went.
This is back to that fight in 1 and 2 between these guys, and I really hate this for Massagill. I really do. Was just running so hard, was trying to get back to Retzlaff and just overcorrects in the wall hard, pancakes it up on 2 tires, and then right here, just like Pete Jones a few moments ago.
That's iRacing for you.
Well, to be clear, it's, you know, iRacing doing its best. What it is, it's a soft piece of rubber, the tires, catching on hard racetrack, and the sim is just doing its best at that point. And, well, you see what happens. It catches and just throws the car up in the air, does a barrel roll. It is worth noting Bradley Fiddler got into the fence down on the inside, trying to avoid all of that, and Jason Durant Walker was the pink machine that, well, clipped the spinning, I guess, flipping, if you will, 5 of Blake Massagill. We've got 10 laps to go, this time by the stripe, and Zach, we're not getting the green flag just yet, so we'll be inside of 10 to go when we get the green flag. We could... Actually, no, we won't get a green-white checker. We will be running only to regulation with this Advanced Legends Series, I do believe. So, with the caution trends we've seen, How important is it to get track position on these restarts?
Extremely. If you're into it, the way you look at it when it comes to a strategy call is if you see a race plagued with cautions, do you want to say hang back, maybe let the wreck play out, or do you want to try to get that track position? I'm going for the track position. You have to get it, otherwise you're just going to sit back there waiting for something to happen, and it ultimately could potentially not happen.
There you go. I do want to mention, for all of you Legend Car drivers and fans, there is a new iRacing Legends Discord server. And, well, we're running it here at Pit Stop TV. Would be very happy if you wanted to go ahead and join. Certainly would appreciate it. The Discord link is in YouTube, and I'm going to try and get it in Facebook chat as well. If you give me just one moment, I could try and do that for you. But we're excited about this, to bring in kind of a Legends Discord server. I know there was one recently that was closed. We'll just kind of leave that there. I do want to thank Quentin Nuttall for his efforts. But we're going to give it a shot. We're going to organize this. We're going to try and get Legends Car Racing, I think, a concrete, grounded community, and just improve it here on the sim. I think that's the end goal for sure. Zach, I think if we do have this kind of conceded effort, an organized effort, we can potentially have, schedule votes and who knows what else in that Discord and really make a good community out of it.
Not to mention, you've already got a lot of good drivers in there right now, myself included, and it's nice to see a growing community for the short track race, and maybe we'll see stuff like part sales or just overall, let's go race together.
We'll have 7 laps to go. This time by, they stack up. Daniel Folds trying to get a jump here for the restart, but green flag is out. Kyle Meyer right on the right side of that 09. And down the backstretch, Retzlaff with a big advantage. He looks to the inside of Daniel Folds, but not able to make a move there. Tyler Payne through to 4th as he battles with Jacob Derrick. 1 lap complete off of the restart, and look at this top 3.
Retzlaff thought better of that going into turn 3, and that was probably a smart move considering how the racing has gone tonight, as they are still doubled up for 5th, 6th, and even 7th, as Retzlaff is just looking around, searching to see where he can get a good run. He might have gotten it. They're side by side for the lead.
Retzlaff to the inside of Daniel Folds, and the 09 just trying to hang on to defend right now, but Retzlaff has got the long run speed, and he powers most of the way by the 09. It's not done yet as Boniface blocks the 3 all the way down to the inside of turn 3. Is he maybe going to get punted out of the way? He does, as there's a lead change, and Kyle Meyer goes through to 2nd. Look out, here comes Tyler Payne.
And they were 3 wide back there for 5th, as this top 4 is duking it out with 4 to go.
2 really good fights. It's hard to cover them both as Tyler Payne moves into the top 3. A strong effort out of PBL tonight for sure. As look at that, they fan out 3 wide in the back for those spots again. Just as Daniel Folds goes back to the inside of Payne.
But Payne is pulling the crossover move. He's looking down to the bottom, going into turn 3, coming to 2 laps to go. And look at that. He's going to retake the 3rd position from Daniel Folds, but Folds is going to try to cross him up again.
2 laps to go. Popsicle sticks in the air here at Five Flag Speedway. And Folds right on the back bumper of the 18 car. Can't do anything with him as Retzlaff powers away potentially to another victory this season. It would be number 12 for him on the season. As look at this gaggle of cars as we come around to the white flag.
And they are all just trying to figure out where they're going to be able to plot in line. More moves being made to the bottom as Retzlaff is just driving away from Kyle Meyer.
White flag presented by Whiplash Sim Cams. A crash in the back, but we keep racing up front. And Parker Retzlaff is going to take car number 1 back to victory lane for the 12th time this season in Advanced Legends Racing. Those cars that crashed in the back do come around to finish the race. And Retzlaff gets himself another one.
Just like you said, Andrew, regardless of your opinion, regardless of really how you look at the situation as a whole, with all the controversy, Retzlaff has dominated this season.
And really, it was just that one race. You could say Hickory as well. There was a little bit of drama there, but really, as far as the actual controversy around Retzlaff, I think it was just that first race, and he's driven past that for sure at this point. And that was way back at Atlanta as well, and that was just the one. Yeah, he is the best driver of the season. That's why I think next week he's going to lock up this championship if he hasn't Alrighty, let's bring up our unofficial race results after all of that, Zach. And of course, winning is car number 1. Only led 5 laps at the end, but he did it when it mattered most. Kyle Meyer, Tyler Payne, how about that for an upset top 3, as both of them get back to their ideal form for Payne-built legends, and Daniel Fold slides back in the closing laps here at Five Flags. Jacob Derrick for a top 5, Colton Everingham 6th, Matthew Boniface hangs on for 7th, Blade Timmons, Tristan McKee, and Kyle Turzak make up your top 10.
Rolling back with the last 5 drivers in the field, I still hate it for a lot of these guys, but Martin Gazoulis in 11th, Jason Durant Walker in 12th, Riley Frederick Hatzenbeck in the 13th position, and then Blake Massengale, just that hard contact on the front straightaway that ultimately took him out of the top 5, finishing 14th, and Pete Jones finishing in the very last position, 21 laps down.
Well, that does it for on-track action. We're still waiting to see if we get a couple of these drivers. I would imagine Tyler should be joining us in a moment, at the very least, if not as well, Kyle Meyer. But let's talk about this schedule then for a second. Zach, we'll wait on them. 1 round left to go, at least for us. That said, these guys have all week to keep running and doing their best to get better and better results. Daniel Fold can still go win some races. He's not stuck with a 4th place finish for this week. He can go bring his average up and potentially get all first places counted if he runs and wins enough races here at Five Flags this week.
Absolutely. He can, if I remember correctly, how iRacing does it is they judge off of your average 4 races that you run to help calculate your point total, and then they just attribute it to the point standings. And you know, there's a lot of good races that you can run throughout the week that'll be able to help get that total up.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, because of the strength of field in this race, you could earn more points in this race finishing 4th than the next race at 8 o'clock finishing 1st. It depends on who enters and what the strength of field is, and those points are then weighted by that strength of field. So it really is kind of up in the air. It's hard to say exactly what kind of day you're going to get, or race you're going to get as far as points earned and SOF and stuff until it happens. And even for these SOF races, we're always kind of waiting to see what the SOF is going to be, and kind of surprised when we find it out as we load into the session. But we'll see what Daniel Folds maybe is able to do, but I think Ratzlaff might have just put the final nail in the coffin for this season. That said, Kyle Meyer and Tyler Payne are with us this evening to go ahead and talk to us about their 2nd and 3rd place finishes. And Meyer, you're up first. You got the win way back at USA. It's been kind of a rocky season until now. 2nd place here at Five Flags. Is it maybe a Florida thing?
Hell, it might be at this point. We just ain't got no luck, man.
And what is the challenge like as a team, a conceded effort here to try and go and win these races? What is the biggest challenge, I guess, that you guys face week in, week out?
Just the different verities that go into everything. How much time you put in. It's always something new. Just when you think you got it, there's a curveball somewhere.
Well, it seemed like the curveball tonight was you guys having some exceptional long run speed. What were those last few restarts like?
Yeah, they got a little crazy. Definitely had some long run speed. It was a tad bit too snug to do anything with Parker at the end. Shout out to him, always having good speed. We'd like to shout out T-Pain for having me on board as always. Dustin Bombercat for his help this week. And all the boys back at the shop.
You know, I was about to ask what kind of, I guess, boost it has been for everybody over at Payne-built Legends to bring Dustin Bombercat in. I saw that post, yesterday sometime, about Trevor Edwards and Dustin Bombercat coming over to that short track program. What kind of help it is having both of them in the program now?
Oh, it's going to be huge. I mean, Tyler and Dustin were testing earlier and together. And Dustin found something. Tyler took it. They worked together extremely well, and I feel like it showed tonight on the long run.
You guys definitely had a lot of pace there at the end of the race. Kyle, I know it's been a frustrating season, but congratulations on the P2 tonight. Hopefully you get some wins this week and show up and show out next week at Stafford.
10-4, I appreciate it, buddy.
Kyle Meyer with the 2nd place finish in the SOF race this evening. Let's bring in then Tyler Payne. And Zach, I'm sure this guy has an interesting perspective on this one.
Yeah, Tyler Payne qualified 14th, but drove that thing up to 3rd after getting involved in a lap 1 incident. Can you just kind of walk us through really how that went for you, going from wrecking lap 1 to P3 at the end?
Yeah, I missed pretty bad in qualifying. Just missed my marks. I wouldn't have been near the pole, but they definitely had some good Q speed up there. I don't know. We were talking to Discord. We just wanted to ride. I knew we had long run speed. A lot of these guys will make race laps in the practice server before, so you can kind of see how fast everyone's firing off. And it seemed like everyone who qualified up front would fire off quick. I knew we fired off loose, so I figured they would get tight at the end and we would be able to pounce. And I think that's kind of what we did. But yeah, just the early spin caught me by surprise. I didn't think it was going to come down. Blade gave me plenty of room. I appreciate that, and I still somehow got a piece of it, but it wasn't too bad.
And Pain Built Legends coming away with a P2 and a P3 finish. You know, you guys did an absolutely stellar job to make sure you could keep up with everyone. And, you know, just tell us how things really just started to play in your favor as the race went on, playing through these cautions and playing through just making up that track position.
Yeah, so a lot of people, a lot of the Legends community thinks when we go to these bigger tracks, it's less cautions. I think it's a little bit worse because it's more momentum based. You can't really drive off quick and get a good run under the straightaways. Coming up off, it's a momentum thing. You gotta set it up for laps and laps and get the long momentum. And if they come down, they come down. But yeah, P2 and P3, I think me and Kyle were like the 7 and 9 car in the server. So that's a win in my opinion. Parker's a different animal on iRacing. I think we all know that. But no, it's just a really good night in my opinion.
Well, you guys absolutely came away with stellar finishes for the team. And, you know, obviously we're still going to Stafford next week, so there's still a lot of ground you're able to make up.
Oh yeah, and Dustin's we're already talking about testing for Stafford. He's been such a huge help just this week alone. Kind of breaks up me having to test all the time and the guys testing all the time. We got another pair of hands on the cars, which is really nice to have, so I appreciate him too.
And Tyler, I actually wanted to ask you about that before we let you go tonight. We saw the announcement on Facebook and Twitter, all your social media over the weekend about bringing Trevor Edwards in and Dustin Monburkett. What kind of shot in the arm is that for Pain Built Legends and EPI as a whole?
Oh, it's huge. I mean, over the past few days, it was kind of a last-second thing we just threw together, and Trevor's been helping a ton with the modifieds. They were testing last night, I believe, and they've just, I mean, Monburkett helped me find a half a tenth today in qualifying within an hour. So just 2 hands on every single short track setup that goes out on the website is just really something nice to have, and those guys are really talented.
Yeah, that's huge, even just beyond this PBL program, but also for like the consumer when they grab that setup from EPI or go on track with you guys in these races. So that's really exciting to hear. Tyler, congratulations on the P3 tonight. You mentioned you were car 7. Kyle was actually car 13, so he's going to have some extra I rating after that one. Congratulations to both of you guys.
Thank you guys, and thank you for doing this every week. I appreciate it. Y'all have a good one.
Absolutely. Thanks for having us here, Tyler. P3 tonight, Zach, and I'm glad we were able to actually touch on that new announcement with EPI bringing in those couple of big builders. Trevor Edwards has all kinds of sim racing accolades to his name, particularly over in the Sarah late model series. I don't know that you can get much of a better guy than Trevor Edwards to build your late models, and Dustin Monburkett for Legends, I think, is just about equal as far as the accolades and I guess the expertise, and it's going to be exciting to see where EPI and PBL are able to go from here. Pain Built Legends especially I'm excited for, being that I love Legend car racing so much, especially here on iRacing, but really cool announcement the last couple days.
Yeah, and just like you said, it makes it so much better for the consumer when they go onto EPI and just want to get those big good setups. Say, you know, if you want to just try to run a modified or a late model league, or if you want to go big time and you want to go something like Road to Pro and just take a good setup that had multiple hands on it, was passed around to make sure that it was able to be used in a good fashion with a multitude of drivers. Everyone's got different driving styles, so a setup that really works well for a majority of people is something that consumers want to see.
That's exactly what I was going to touch on. I mean, you have setups that now go through 2 or 3, maybe even 4 or 5 different filters before they actually get to the consumer that wants to go race with them. It's kind of like if you go to the supermarket, right? There's maybe a loaf of bread that might have been quality checked by one person, and it could have a big hole in the bottom. Who knows? It might not have been baked right. It might not be fully baked. You never know. If only one person is checking that, maybe they're tired that day. They stayed up all night. Who knows? that bread is not going to be what you expect. If you have 3 or 4 different people looking over that, you'll catch that kind of quality mistake. In this case, with the setup, you have different guys building it, so you have different tastes in there. It's not just one guy building it for himself. You actually get a setup that I think is more well-rounded as a result, has more testing done to it to find little errors, especially maybe on a long run. Maybe that guy only has 30 minutes to go test the setup, when really it needs 35 minutes of track time to find something wrong with the long run speed. So I think that's really, really exciting potentially for, not even potentially, it is exciting for Pain Built Legends and Elite Performance Industries, and you've got to, I think, check with their social media in both cases to see what's next for each of them and just what's coming your way, especially as we get ready for Season 2 here on iRacing. We talk about the schedule one more time. We are into Week 11 now of the 2023 Season number 1. That means in March, we're going into Season number 2. It's a whole new opportunity to go out there and get your season championships.
Especially with all these drivers that are looking to get some season promotions. Remember, people, you just need that 3.0 to be up in the C class, and you'll be able to race these Advanced Legend Cups next season, and hopefully we'll be the ones covering that top SOF field for you.
Well, there you go. That is round number 11 from Five Flag Speedway. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. We're not done just yet. Upcoming broadcasts here on the channel. Here's how they look, Zach. Tomorrow night, it's the HFL Legends Series at 8 Eastern from Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. Everybody loves the fairgrounds. Wednesday night, though, it's Auto Club Speedway, and what might be the final time we see it in its 2-mile form. Who knows what's going to come next for us here at Pit Stop TV, especially with Auto Club Speedway, but the UFL Elite Series is on Wednesday from Auto Club Speedway, February 22nd at 9 Eastern, and then Saturday, we've got more late model stock action, this time right back here from Five Flags Speedway. We're getting a lot of these short tracks in multiple times. Hickory, Five Flags, the fairgrounds especially, making their rounds. And look at that, we're right back at Five Flags this Saturday evening, February 25th at 8 Eastern for some Martin PC Late Model Showdown action. 3 exciting broadcasts and plenty of ways to keep up.
Absolutely, and we here at Pit Stop TV seem to love short tracks. So you know where we love posting to our social medias: Facebook.com/PitStopTV, Twitter.com/PitStopTV_, Instagram.com/Pit_Stop_TV, and then YouTube.com, the great place to catch all of the race broadcasts. YouTube.com/C/PitStopTV1. Obviously, you know, we're covering so much good stuff upcoming, and I'm really, really excited for the UFL series. I mean, we saw a lot of great racing in their Daytona race, and, you know, it's just going to look so much better to see all that stuff go down on the high banks of Auto Club.
That'll do it this evening from Five Flag Speedway. Once again, thanks so much for joining us. It has been a pleasure, as always, to cover some action here with the Legends. And actually, I see the crash happening in the background. Let's just go ahead and look at it. This crash on the last lap of tonight's race, we didn't quite get a chance to check in on it, so we'll do so now before we turn this off. Martin Gattenzuas, I think, is most notably involved in all of this, along with, it looks like, the 51 potentially of Turzak. So let's just get a look at it quickly, Zach, before we shut it off for the night. It is Matthew Boniface, the car out front with those chrome yellow numbers. Gattenzuas, the red car with yellow numbers in the middle. That 23 on the outside, I'm not sure who that is. Oh, and Durant Walker gets net coated up, and wow, they all just wad up from there.
A pretty typical Legend car crash, though, if you ask me. Just, you know, a lot of hard racing, and it just really didn't play in their favor.
Let's see if we can get a look at it from maybe Colton Everingham's perspective. Actually, he was in front of him. I'm trying to find somebody that would have had a good look at it from behind. But anyways, maybe Tristan McKee, if we can get the replay there. Well, anyways, here's Riley Fiddler, who goes right almost through the middle of it and then gets a little bit of contact there with one of the spinning cars. Has to check up some more, and Riley Fiddler finishes 13th. Let's get one more replay before we shut this thing down.
Yeah, the holes just closed up there, and he wasn't able to really get through, and it's just an unfortunate circumstance for these guys who were just really trying to race hard, and ultimately it didn't exactly go the way they wanted to. On board with Tristan McGee.
A Pain-Built Legends driver we've not seen at all yet this season. Durant Walker goes up. McKee almost gets by. Well, that'll do it for us this evening. Once again, thanks so much for joining us. It is always a pleasure here at Pit Stop TV to bring you the sights and sounds of Pain-Built Legends and the Advanced Legends Cup Series, this time from Five Flag Speedway. We certainly appreciate you joining us. My name is Andrew Cardinale IV. Zach Murtis on the call with me this evening. We hope to see you next week from Stafford Motor Speedway for the season finale, or any broadcast this week. Tomorrow night, we have HFL Legends from Nashville.